This is the second in the series that I'm doing on Scottish proverbs to live by and life lessons from each of those proverbs. So my next favourite one, that's the first one that you hopefully would have seen, the video that I did on that. What I'm going to talk about in a few moments today is another proverb which I love. And it's basically, you're a long time dead. It's said a wee bit differently in Scots dialect, but I can't do that any longer because I don't live there and I haven't lived there for a while. So you're a long time dead. So what does that mean? Well, it's fairly straightforward. It means that basically we're not here for very long on this earth. We don't have too long to do whatever it is that we want to do, to fulfill whatever it is that we want to fulfill. And I'm sure those of you who have got to a certain age, you probably look back and think, well, goodness, life moved by so quickly. I can't believe that I'm here at this stage now. We often feel that. Many of us feel like that. So we know that life can be short, and it can be very short in some circumstances. That in and of itself prompts some inwards looking and some analysis by some of us. And that's really important because we need to know who we are, what it is that we want to achieve, what is it that we get from life that we want to pursue. All of that's really important. But so too is the fact that acknowledging that at the end of the day, we're all going to go through the same process and that we're not going to be here forever. So the question then is, what do we do with the time that we have? Now, in the work that I do as a psychotherapist, I see people sometimes that come in to the clinic and they have life issues, essentially. A lot of things can coalesce around retirement for some people, in that their whole identity has been caught up in work and family and trying to juggle those things. But coming up to retirement, it's a bit of a shock. What do I do with that time? I'm not used to this. So that's a very common thing that we see, and you might have experienced that yourself, or you probably know someone who's experienced that. So the question we need to ask ourselves then is, what do we do? What do we do with this time? I would say, and this isn't set in tablets of stone, of course, and you might completely disagree, that it's better to make a mistake than to have a regret. So if we think about our lives, all of us make mistakes. Some of us make mistakes constantly. But that comes from trying something new, from doing something a bit different, from stepping out of your comfort zone, of moving along, moving forward. So you will make mistakes, absolutely. And I would say it's better to make that mistake than to have a regret. So if we think about it, at the end of the time that we're given here on earth, most people, when they get to that point, they talk about mistakes, absolutely, but regret is something else. They regret that they didn't take that step, that chance. So from our perspective, on the beginning of a new week, your long time dead is absolutely right, isn't it? As we look to doing whatever it is that we're doing during the week, it might be stuff that we're doing with family, it might be work, it can be any sorts of activities that we're involved in, any kind of planning, whatever we're doing. I think that Scottish proverb, "You're a long time dead," has a lot to say to us, because we're living here in the moment. And that is all we're promised, isn't it? That we're here in the moment and we're living. So if there's something that you want to do, if there's something that you want to tell someone, as long as it's not criminal, then think about that. Think about what that might mean when you're looking back on that, when you get to the end of your time here on earth, because we are here for only a short period of time. So we should try to make that as meaningful, as purposeful as possible, and to make that a positive experience for ourselves, but also for others around us if we're able to do that. So I wish you a happy and meaningful week ahead, and I'll be back with number 3 Scots proverb in a week's time. So I look forward to seeing you then. Take care.